name is Manali Shah, and today's conversation is going to be all about startups. Joining us is Vinod Kumar, the founder of Naturally Yours, a healthy noodles and pasta brand. Vinod holds an MBA from the Cardiff Business School in the UK. He has over 14 years of experience in marketing, sales, and leading new business launches. Prior to this, he served in leadership positions at InnoServe, which has now been sold to Amazon. You studied in the UK and then you came back to India and you saw a gap in the market for organic, healthy noodles or healthy pasta, or healthy category basically. And you decided to launch Naturally Yours in 2010. So, how did you go about analyzing the gap in the market?
We did not launch the noodles and pasta thing in 2010 because it is a very recent phenomenon. The noodles brand is just a 2.5-year-old brand. But in 2010, we launched as an organic store. Now, the story behind the organic store is very interesting, actually, right? In fact, there are two motivations that actually triggered my desire to open an organic store, because in 2010, there was hardly any idea as such. One was when I was in Cardiff, I used to have organic food, and that's when I came in touch with organic food. And when I came back, there was hardly anything available in the Indian supermarkets, right? That was one. And second is I had a chance visit to an organic farm down south. And one of the things that I asked the farmer there is, hey, how do you sell your produce? How does the logistic work and all of that? Because I knew organic products sell pretty good in the UK at that time. This was back in 2010. And the person said that no, he sells it in the local market only and he doesn't get any premium for that. And that's when the idea triggered that we could do something in this space where there were a lot of farmers like him who were doing a great job, but they did not have any market as such. So I said, why not have a bridge? And when I studied the entire thing, what I found out was there was a huge lack of awareness, right? And lack of awareness comes with talking to consumers. So we started in 2010 out of a small 100 square feet store in Bombay as an organic store, right? Our journey started out from that, and it evolved over the years from an organic store to an online store to an organic superfood brand, and now to our latest avatar in healthy noodles and pasta space. And every twist and turn has, we learned a lot of lessons through all of these business formats. I would say these were literally new businesses. So the business is under the same name, but they were literally new businesses in new areas for us.
Right.
And every time we pivoted or we moved on to that, we learned huge amount of lessons. And yeah, so that's been the journey, and it's been 12 years now. And myself and my co-founder Priya, we have had one hell of a journey throughout this time, and we have enjoyed every bit of it.
Right, that's so interesting with so many changes as the brand has evolved and pivoted. And we can't wait to dive more into those changes and what drove those decisions. But before we get to that stage, so when you came back and you realized this gap in the market, right? You identified a gap in the market. So did you do any market gap analysis, or how did you go about it? And how did you estimate the market size at that point of time?
So there were a lot of reports, there were a lot of online reports, there were a lot of reports from different this thing that I read. But the best thing that we could do was actually speak to the actual end consumers and actual farmers. That is what we did. And fortunately, before we started, there was this huge conference which happens even now called BioFac. And that was a place where all buyers and sellers of organic come together every year. Right, this year it is in Delhi. Coincidentally, that when we started, it was in Bombay, and it was like a huge boost for us because we could meet everybody, right from the farmers to the sellers to the brands, to everyone in one single place. And we did tons of research over the 3-4 days that they were present here, and we got a lot of connections. And through that, we also went and met we visited, myself and Priya, we visited a lot of farms to understand how organic as such works. Because back in 2010, we were not only selling packaged food, we were also selling vegetables and fruits. We were doing same-day deliveries. Same-day delivery is a big thing today, right? But we were doing, back in 2010, we were doing same-day deliveries In fact, in most of our locations where our stores were presented, we did within an hour delivery, right? So
Oh,
those are the
wow.
things that we did way back in 2010. And yeah, so the research primarily was from the research material that we got, but the biggest learnings that we had was from directly talking to the stakeholders.
Right.
If anybody is looking to start this thing, I think that's the best place to start from. Both sides, the buyer side and the seller side. If you once you have a look at it, you will understand if there is a reasonable kind of a demand. But at the end of the day, when you start the business is when you understand whether there is a demand or no.
Right.
But yeah, but your basic analysis you can be done, and we found that there was a reasonable demand here. That's why we went full in and we said let's start something here.